Alright, welcome back to the channel. Max Tornow here, and in this video I want to talk about the mistakes that I've made over my career, the mistakes that I've made over both the online businesses that I've built over the last couple of years, so you don't have to make these mistakes. This is especially important for you if you're seeking to build your own business or bring your business to the next level. Maybe you have a current business and you want to avoid certain mistakes. There's a lot of golden nuggets in this video, so I strongly recommend you enjoy it. You sit back and you get all the knowledge that you potentially could use to not make these mistakes from this video. So that being said, let's get started.
Have you ever wondered whether there's more to life than a meaningless dead-end 9-to-5 job? Have you ever dreamed about breaking free, traveling the world, making good money while not having to worry that you could get fired? My name is Max Tornow, and I've attained that freedom and I've attained that security. No more office dress code, no morning commute, no boss. This channel is for you, so here's to your freedom.
Alright, so we're walking through the neighborhood here in Finland today a little bit. It is actually freezing cold. What is it, minus 10 degrees or something like that? It feels like minus 10 degrees. That's so cold. So okay, the first big mistake I made was actually very early on in the beginning, before I even had a business myself. I am a perfectionist, always was, and I thought I need to be a perfect expert in everything, and this was a mistake that kind of prolonged itself throughout the course of my very first business for quite a long time. And my very first business was actually a business for dating and relationship advice, and this was an obstacle that I had overcome myself for a very long time, and I got good at it, but I didn't feel like I was perfect at it. I would look at all these other experts out there that I already knew, that I already looked up to, and I thought, well, I'm not as good as them, and therefore I cannot get started. And the big problem with that is, how are you ever gonna get good at something before you're even getting started? Right? The idea is basically you have to get started in order to get good. And so I pushed that away from myself for quite a long time before I got my first clients. And I think if I had done that earlier, if I had been a little bit more confident, maybe give myself a little bit more props, I would have started earlier and eventually, started making money earlier and waste less time. And on a side note too, the way I did get my first clients was also interesting. You could almost count that as another mistake. A big reason why I didn't start getting my first clients for so long was I thought I needed, social media, I needed to be famous, I needed to be, create a name for myself, but ultimately that wasn't necessary. After pushing away the idea of getting started for so long, I just said, what, let me go the more direct route and see if that goes well. So I basically literally went on a forum back in the days. People still used forums. And I just started messaging people, and I started posting on that forum, and instead of kind of building myself a big brand, I started building myself a little bit of a name within that forum, reached out to people directly, asked if they needed my help, helped them a little bit, and then basically made them excited about becoming my clients and actually pay me for that. And that is literally how I made my first 4 figures. And again, big mistake on my side. I thought I needed to have a big brand. Turns out I didn't. And things were a lot easier and a lot less complicated once I realized that. So you can literally count that as a second mistake already. And then I'm gonna maybe jump back and forth here between these mistakes. A big mistake that pops in my head now as well was ego. In fact, I mean, it was in my early 20s. I must have been 21, 22. I thought I needed to figure it all out myself, and even though there's been people who figured it out before me, there's been people who literally figured out the exact things that I wanted to do. They figured all that out before me. I thought I still have to reinvent the wheel, and that's not a really smart thing to do if you really think about that. And ultimately the reason for that was ego. I thought, I want to be the one who announces to his parents that I've built it completely from scratch by myself. I figured it all out myself, but ultimately, again, here, cost me several months, if not even years, once I did start getting mentors and just, got off the ego horse and say, hey, can you help me with that? Actually, results started coming in much faster. I was able to build something much better, and this is a lesson that I'm still trying to adhere to. Now I've built multiple 7-figure businesses. I've built 2 for myself, and I've been in an advisory role for multiple others for multiple 7 figures a year businesses. And I still have that lesson in my head, and I still make sure that I still reach out to people that are beyond me, that are making multiple 8 figures a year, to really understand, hey, I don't know everything, and that's totally fine. And that was a big lesson in the beginning that I made, and there was also a big lesson that I've made somewhere throughout my career when I had already made my first million. I remember that must have been after my third or fourth world tour of my first business. I had started getting myself a small team of 2 videographers and 1 assistant, and they were literally non-stop working for me, and they were doing the exact things that I told them to do, and nobody said no to any stupid ideas that I've had, and so on and so forth. And I really felt like I was a king in my own world. I had made all this money, and I had all these people looking up to me, and I had this great strong brand and stuff like that. And I was operating in that, how would you say, like, in this beautiful zone where I thought I was the best and the coolest and the smartest for almost 2 years. And that was a big period of my life where I barely grew. In fact, maybe I almost stagnated. And only then I realized at some point, I've mentioned this multiple times in other videos, I would come out of my bedroom, and everybody was working in my living room. I had this big table, and I looked at them working, and they're all like, you know, the worker bees, and they're great, and I'm like, oh, I'm so happy they're here. But I'm like, come on, Max. Some voice in my head said, come on, Max, you know that these people are not going to call you out on your own BS. Whatever you tell them, they'll do it. They don't have the authority, they don't have the guts to tell you that you're doing something wrong. So Max, how on earth are you growing? And then I thought back to the times where I had my first mentor, and I'm like, I felt so stupid most of the time. I made so many mistakes most of the time, but at least I goddamn grew. And I didn't during that period. So again, the big lesson here is ego, and that was in the beginning and then also throughout. So I really want you to understand this. Having no ego is a lifestyle. It's something that you have to commit to, because there's always going to be people who are better than you, who make more money than you, who know things better than you, who have more experience than you. And that doesn't mean that you are, that doesn't mean that you have any, that you're doing something wrong. It literally means that there's people who are better than you. And that's okay, because that then also means that you can grow from that. That's a very, very key point. You should always grow. And I strongly believe that the idea of growing is something that you commit to for your whole life. You should never stop learning, you should never stop growing. And that being said, also, if you haven't done so yet, let me get out my phone here, it's really cold. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't done so yet. Strongly recommend you. I'm posting on there every day on the feed and every day on the stories. I'm dropping value nuggets on business, I'm dropping value nuggets on lifestyle, on learning. I also reply to all DMs, so feel free to shoot me a DM if you have any specific questions. Also, the other Instagram account that I can strongly recommend you is the Freedom Business Mentoring Instagram account. That one's a little bit more business specific. We're dropping more business value nuggets on there. I'm posting interesting quotes on there, interesting one-liners that you could learn from. Also, we're posting about our clients' results on there, so you can feel free to check those out. You probably have your phone in your hand right now. You can give a follow to both of them. So yeah, last but not least, I always thought that building a business is something that is built on fancy gimmicks, on fancy tools. That was an issue that I've had in the beginning, but that was also an issue that I've had throughout my career. I would always try to jump on the next fancy new tool that came out, like chatbots, funnels, and so on and so forth. And I thought, you know, nowadays business is built on that. But ultimately, these are nice tools, nice to have. Some of them are more useful than others. But what it really comes down to business is the classics, the things that people have been using for hundreds of years with their businesses, whether that's online or offline. And those classics are understanding your audience. If you understand your audience, you don't need no chatbot or anything like that. Understand the process of sales. Be good at sales, and you'll never have to worry about making money ever again. And lastly, clients. If you have a client-centric approach, people will buy from you again. And I've literally posted that to talk about Instagram again. I've just recently posted that about that on Instagram as well. You have to understand that lifetime value of clients is the most valuable thing your business can have. So if you have a client-centric approach and you say, okay, let us give as much value possible as we can, to clients, then these people will buy from us again. And then these people will spread the word of mouth. These people will leave great testimonials and so on and so forth. And this could be a whole topic in and of itself. I might make an extra video on that as well. This is also a reason why we've been doing so extremely well in 2020. While other people were struggling because they couldn't get many more new clients, we were having hell of a good time because so many of our clients prolonged the mentoring with us. So many of our clients kept talking about us, word of mouth and so on and so forth. It's come to a point where a large degree of our monthly revenue is literally actually coming from repeat clients that are staying with us because they love the program so much and because they say, hey, it's much more valuable, it's much more positive ROI for me if I stay on board with this program and if I keep paying, because ultimately that's a win for them and it's also a win for us. Actually, I would say let's turn around here. Let's head back, it's getting way too cold. So if you have a client-centric approach and if you're focusing on these literal business fundamentals, all these fancy gimmicks like social media, chatbots, funnels, VSL, and so on and so forth, these are amplification points, these are multipliers, but ultimately, let me make sure I'm in focus here. But ultimately it is about these, yep, there you go. It's about these very, very basics when it comes to building a business, and that's what counts. So when you say this sounds great, when you say, hey, Max, can you and your team help me build my own business as an online coach or as an online service provider? Or maybe you're already making some money and you want to make more money more consistently, then you can book a free consultation call. We're gonna put a link down in the description below. You click on that link, you fill out the application, takes you 2 minutes to fill out that application, and then you can book the exact date and time where you want us to call you. Call is entirely for free, I can tell you that right now. The other thing I can tell you is that the call is actually going to be giving you implementable steps, not some watered down, mainstream, generalized advice that nobody actually can use. And also, you'll be talking to a real person, not an automated bot funnel or something like that. Like I said, there's a link down in the description below. You click that and you can book the exact date and time where you want us to call you. Let me check again if I'm in focus. There we go. So, talk to you very, very soon. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, and bye-bye.
I'm almost gonna reach 30K, or actually now currently I'm 29K, and since I'm this FBN program, I'm really happy to be here, to be inspired with such a great team, coaches, Max, thank you a lot, Nikita, Joseph, Robert, all of you guys, you really helped me. Huge advice, never stop. It's just this, never stop, listen whatever coaches are saying, and you're good to go. GG.